Let's take a moment to talk about glacial erratics. This right here, this is a really big rock. Makes you wonder how it got here. Well, if you're paying attention about 10 seconds ago, you might already know. But if you hadn't heard that and I asked you where this rock came from, what would you have told me? You might have guessed maybe it rolled down a hill. But I'll tell you right now, there isn't a cliff like that in the area. Moved by a river? Not unless the accounts of Genesis and the biblical flood are true, because that would take Niagara Falls amount of water roaring through here to move a rock like that. No, the way it got here was through glaciers. When the ice sheets came through, they bulldozed everything. And this wasn't a couple of feet of ice. This wasn't a couple of dozen feet of ice. This was a layer of ice that was 2 miles thick, 10,000 vertical feet of ice crushing its way through the landscape. And so yeah, it tore up enormous rocks. So you get what we call glacial erratics. Why do we call them that? Well, glacial, that should be self-evident. Erratic, because they don't belong. They don't match with the local geology. They don't come from the exact spot that you find them. So it's out of place, and that's what the word erratic really means. This rock could have come from a few miles north, could have come from Canada. I'm not exactly sure what this rock is. Let me have a look. Oh, it looks like it might be a slate of some kind. It looks like a metamorphic rock. And around here you get ironstones. You get some of that up north of here though. I think the Slate River is just about maybe a dozen miles north. So this giant boulder may not have traveled 500 miles to get here. It might have only traveled a couple of dozen miles. But it's those giant ice sheets that picked them up and dumped them. You can find glacial erratics wherever the Laurentide ice sheet had passed. We're talking New York State, Michigan, Ohio, parts of Illinois and Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota, I believe North Dakota. I don't think they made it as far as South Dakota. But they are out of place rocks that have been dumped and left behind by the glaciers as they retreated. They obviously never leave the rocks behind while the glacier is advancing. If the ice is moving forward, and everything locked in them is moving forward too. But they drop things out as the glaciers melt back. And so this guy was left behind when the glacier melted its way back north of this point here. Most glacial erratics you find are a lot smaller than this. I mean, basically all the shores of the Great Lakes are covered with teeny tiny glacial erratics. But when we talk about a glacial erratic, we're usually talking about larger rocks just because they're the more impressive ones. A lot of the time they're yay big, sometimes they're a lot bigger. People love to decorate their driveways with them out in farm country. And I mean, as you can see, they can be as big as a house. Absolutely fantastic. This is one of my favorite glacial erratics out here. This is fantastic. This is at the entrance to the Ford exploration pits. And it marks the road, it marks where I want to turn off. And I absolutely love this thing. How long has it been here? Oh, about 10,000 years. How long will it be here? Well, I'd say she's got at least 10,000 more in her, but who knows? She's basically waiting for the next ice age to push her around, or time to just break her down.